The first scene introduces Sue, who is contemplating obtaining superpowers so everyone can notice her. Her father claims that one of Sue's special qualities is that no one notices her and she is like a secret agent. Her mother is a scientist, and she visits her in her lab on her birthday to surprise her. An important meeting of scientists was going on in the lab, and Sue reached the lab with her father with cake and candles. Sue erases the important formulas and writes happy birthday on the board. The fire alarm goes on as the candles are lit there, and her mother, who is in the meeting, approaches them. Sue and her father say happy birthday while seeing her coming. But she becomes furious at her instead of being happy. Sue's father asserts that Sue made no errors and that he was the one who came up with this. She becomes enraged and hurls the cake far away. It damages the lab system when it strikes one of its systems. When Sue notices this, she rushes outside, but the doors are locked. A blast occurred in the interim, and blue liquid immediately fell on her. Her wrist is bandaged by the doctor as her father picks her up and takes her home. The next day, Sue vomits when she awakes and finds a blue mark on her wrist. Sue notices some physical changes but keeps them from her father out of fear that he will become concerned. She opens her locker when she gets to school later and finds the party posters inside. She was looking over the posters when her friend Toby came over. Toby was her friend from school and a skilled cyclist. They were already conversing when a popular student from their school shows up and invites Toby to her home for a party. To everyone's surprise, Sue suddenly transforms into invisibility as she moves in between them. The sudden disappearance of Sue leaves Eileen and Toby perplexed. Sue confides in her mother out of concern, but her mother is also baffled by what has happened. After bringing her home and feeding her soup, she eventually vanishes once more. When Sue opens the refrigerator, she becomes visible, and her mother assumes that Sue was invisible because of the heat. She examines her and discovers everything that occurred in the lab. She gives her a device through which she can become invisible by getting heated. She can vanish anyone who comes into contact with her. Sue's mother asks her friend Lenia to hold her hand when she is invisible. Lenia is skeptical about the experiment's success. Sue's mother requests that she stay at home, but she attends school while ignoring her. Toby was riding his bike to school when he approached her. He inquires as to why she disappeared the day before. Once more, Eileen tries to get in between them, but her phone starts to ring, so she leaves. It was not a call but a fake call made by her friend to help her. A scientist's assistant shows his boss a video of Sue disappearing, and his boss instructs him to keep the video secret. Sue goes to a restaurant, and her friend App joins her. She says, "App, I want to share a secret with you," and tells her that she can be invisible if she so desires, which she finds amusing. When Eileen discovers her phone was controlled by App, she comes to her and misbehaves with her. Sue makes herself invisible with hot coffee and irritates Eileen, resulting in Eileen running from there. The following day, Sue told her mother about how she had made fun of Eileen in the restaurant as they were moving. She takes a nap in the car while traveling, and just as her mother was about to wake her, someone abducts her. Hearing her mother's voice causes Sue to awaken, but she is unable to save her. She seeks assistance from Toby, who was bicycling inside his home. After getting shocked seeing her, he gets to know what had happened with her mother. He suggests that they file a police report, but Sue forbids him from doing so. Later, when he serves her hot tea, the temperature of the beverage causes her to vanish. He was confused about not seeing Sue there, and she reveals to him what had happened to her in the lab. The next morning, they both reach the kidnapping place because she wanted to take her mother's bag from the car. The kidnappers arrive there and take them to a place while trapping them. App saves them and Sue speculates that maybe kidnappers have locked her mother in the lab. She and Toby become invisible with the help of the device, and they enter the lab, but Toby collapses with a lady. He becomes visible and then everyone knows that the kids are present inside the lab. When they enter a room, they discover a bag, but App orders them to leave immediately. They leave successfully, but Toby is injured as he walks out the door. They had workers behind them, so App asks Toby to operate a bike. All were successfully run from there. Later, when App takes them to visit her aunt, Sue learns that App's aunt was a close friend of her mother. They start fighting during making a special fluid. Meanwhile, Toby finds a bag from the lab, and it was from Sue's mother. A program that was created by Sue's mother starts up and can identify Sue. Only Sue's family can unlock this program. It becomes clear to her that fluid oxygen has affected her blood, and that nothing happened when her mother injected it into her body before her. Sue is in danger from kidnappers because she has special blood that can aid in the production of incredible fluids. The kids are aware that the kidnappers took Sue's mother hostage so they could find Sue. During the night while Sue was sleeping, someone attempted to abduct her, but Toby attacked the assailant. App made a costume for Sue and it was like a superhero outfit. Because she has always wanted to be a superhero, she enjoys the outfit. When her mother calls, she informs her that she has managed to get away from the abductors and asks them to meet in a building. She and her friends go to the building to meet her mother, but they get caught by the kidnappers. Toby believes Sue's mother is entangling them, but Sue snaps at him when she hears this. They fight each other, and Toby leaves in anger. Both girls sit in the building secretly, and App has a blast with her device. The action now shifts to Sue, who was dozing off on her bed. Her mother was seated in front of her when she opened her eyes, and she inquired about her friends. Sue's mother reveals to her that she doesn't have a friend named App. She claims that there isn't any fluid inside of her and that perhaps you have had a dream. She says a boy called, and Sue responds that it must have been Toby calling and asking if she wanted to go to the party. Hearing this, her mother leaves while locking her there. The following scene reveals that Sue's mother was her mother's friend, Lenia, who had prepared a liquid from her blood. With its help, she can create a replica of any person she wants. Now she wants to inject the fluid into Toby's body. Sue asks her mother to unlock the program while Toby and her mother are in her room. She unlocks the program and confirms that she is her real mother because only family members can access that program. Her mother questions her about everything that happened to her. She then sees Lenia in the program, who was following Toby because she wants to inject the fluid into Toby's body. Lenia goes to the party as Eileen and Sue with App and her mother also reach the party. Sue's mother gives her an antidote to inject into Lenia. She informs Toby that Eileen is not Eileen, but Lenia and that she wishes to inject the fluid into you. Toby ignored her because he was angry with her. Sue apologizes to him, but then Lenia holds him and she says to Sue that she is more powerful than you. After turning invisible, she injects the antidote into her body, which causes her to revert to her original shape while also rendering her unconscious. After leaving the party, they learn that App's aunt had hired Lenia and that she intended to create a fluid using Sue's blood, so she can cure herself and be able to stand on her feet. After realizing this, Sue injects herself, and when she regains consciousness, she fixes a device to her wheelchair that will cause her to pass out. The action quickly cuts to Sue awakening in front of her parents. She writes in her diary that she has the best parents in the world and then walks to meet up with her companions, who were standing on a bridge. They shout in a loud voice that we are perfect. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching and remember to check out another movie recap displayed on the screen.